Here we are again.
Yep,
Brandon's here. Stuart's here. Brandon's stretching.
I need to.
Well, all right. Now, folks, you just saw Brandon's workout session for the day.
And I'm done.
I'm done. That's it. And I'm out of here. Give me the
Yep,
towel.
don't need anything to do. Yeah, January's that time of year, right? Where we realize we probably ate five extra pieces of cake and, stuff like that. So, yeah, no, I mean, it's a workout. I definitely got to work out. I'm definitely, I like it because it's for me for a long time. I mean, I skipped it 1 or 2 years, maybe three since I've been in Texas. I have to look back. We got the Big D climb coming up once again, man, coming
Yeah,
up.
when
So
is Big D?
that's so this year, it's normally like the first or second week in January. It is not the case this year. It's not going to be all the way till March.
So you got time to train for it.
I got time to lose my fatness and get back in the swing of things.
Yeah.
So
Now that
I
you
love
mention
that
that,
though.
the beginning of January, that's kind of an odd time. Everybody's just packing all the food in for the holidays, and then they want you to climb to the top of a building.
They used to do it where it was the end of January, like the 20 something. Then they did it at like the 16th. And I was like, God, guys.
Yeah.
And then I think just for the building, they said March, end of February, end of March. It's been changing yearly, but they try to, I know it's always cooler when we do it. And I just have always been a fan of that organization, the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. I just think it's a great fun thing to do. I've done it with people. I've done it by myself, mostly by myself, but I have done it with people before. I've had groups, I've had friends.
Yeah.
But for me, just the experience and being able to push myself and also just to help. I mean, I know that organization, so I know where the money's going, and I really like to do it. And I like that it's after the holidays because I think during the holidays everybody's taking care of people, but then we kind of stop. I'm
Yeah.
not all of us, but it's just natural. So for me, doing it after the holidays, I think that's awesome.
Well, that makes more sense to move it away from right after the holidays too, because there are probably those people that say, "Yeah, I've done it before and I'd like to do it again, but I'm just not prepared."
Yeah,
So this way you got time to get yourself prepared. But the key thing you said about that is that you like to do it every year because it's a charity event. And so many of these things that we go to are charity events, and that to me is kind of what January has become for me too, because uh, we all get these solicitations year round, and Lord knows we've gotten tons of them over the last couple of months because give these year-end gifts and all, and add this and help, and you get the little sleepy little eyes on the puppies and all that are sitting out in the cold, and give something to them, and all the major children's
yeah,
hospitals all reach. But I find that January is my time to say, okay, it's the time of the year. I've had a good holiday and all. I'm going to take a bit of money and all, and I'm just going to send a bunch of 25, $50 donations to, half a dozen or so places that I feel really need it. Places
sure.
like St. Jude is one of my
Yes,
go-tos. I've always been involved with the Ovarian Cancer Foundation here in Dallas. But every year I want to be consistent and I will give to you every year, and hopefully you won't send me 12 more solicitations. But that's kind of my way to start the year off by saying pay a little bit of it forward.
I agree, and I think it's a great opportunity. And like you said, St. Jude. I mean, I think everybody should do something for that. But um, especially looking locally, and looking at some of these smaller organizations that don't
Right.
have the impact. I mean, back when the government was shut down because, well, they suck. Um, and we saw these people not getting their SNAP benefits and people relying that's kids, those are families
That's
that are
right.
trying to figure out how to eat. And then I remember at work we had set up, and I don't know if I said this before, at work, we had our own little food pantry at work that we were donating to. And that was for staff members that maybe, because, just because you have a job doesn't mean that you're not
That's right.
suffering,
That you're not
you know.
impacted. Absolutely.
And then there was the local Frisco Family Services that their pantry was gone. And I remember being
Yeah.
like, man, I'm just going to drop off things that I have at my house that were gifted to me. My parents come over, they drop off a bunch of stuff, and I appreciate it, but some of it I don't use, and I know somebody's going to appreciate. So doing those little small acts of kindness and acts of helping community, that's how we give back. And I think that making that a January thing, I kind of see why you do it. Makes sense.
Yeah, the need doesn't go away the rest of the year, but if you start the year off by helping, then it helps these organizations channel what they're doing. For instance, there's some veterans organizations that I've supported for years,
Sure.
and there are a couple of them that have a spring golf outing.
Nice.
And that is their big fundraiser to put money in the pot to help veterans that are down on their luck, that need a tank of gas or need a little extra food or need a little bit of help. Well, lo and behold, every so often there's a storm that comes through and it just blows the golf tournament out of the water, and that means that income flow just got severely, disabled.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's another reason to kind of start the year off by helping jumpstart those organizations that you believe in. And I'm also a firm believer that there are national organizations that you can give to. I'll just throw a couple out, like the American Red Cross. You can make a donation to American Red Cross nationally, and that's fine. But if there's a local chapter of the American Red Cross, give that donation directly to the local chapter, because if there is a tragedy or some kind of an event locally that the American Red Cross is called into action for, they're going to need it right in your neighborhood. So
Agreed.
give to the local chapter of these cancer organizations, the help organizations, the Salvation Army. Give to the local chapter instead of to the national chapter. It's more meaningful to them, and I think it's more meaningful to you to do that too.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you can see where the fruits of your labor are. And I like to see and know, like, yeah, I want to help everybody, but I like to see what they do with it. I like to be like, not just because I don't trust them, that's not it. I just want to see,
That's right.
because it makes you feel good, like, cool, we are making an impact. We are helping out. And I think it's important. It's one thing I always said, if I became wealthy or famous or whatever, I want to do those things where I just show up and do something and leave. You know, I don't need a big camera in front of me. I always look at Shaq. I look at Shaq, who I think is one of the best human beings on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And this dude walks in to an Applebee's and sees a family, doesn't know them, just decides to pay for their food and leave. Just does it, and they find out about it later. Or a
Yeah.
kid was shopping for shoes for his mom with his grandma, and he's like, "Hey, why don't you buy 3 pairs? I got it." Like, and leaves. And when you interview him, and he's like, talks about all, like, why does he do that? And he's like, why not? He's like, I'm blessed enough to still have this money. I'm grateful enough that kids. I haven't played basketball in years, and kids know what I am, who I am. I'm gonna give back.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that, but you don't have to be rich to do that, and you don't have to give away all your money to do that. There are things that you can do.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to make a lot of money in order to say, well, I have to donate a large amount. If everybody that's watching this show was to give $10 to 10 of your favorite organizations, that's $100 total investment.
Hmm.
You've made an impact to 10 organizations. And just stop and think that if there's a thousand people that will do the same thing and just give $10. That money adds up and it makes
Well,
an
yes.
impact. And I will tell you, make sure that you check out these organizations in advance and find out what percentage of your donation goes to their overhead operating costs.
Well, that's
Because there's a
important
lot
too.
of organizations out there that have big, big payrolls, and that means that the money you're donating is not going to the very people that really need it the most.
Not at all. And one of the biggest things is, we waste money. You give $10 for a cup of coffee, $9 for a cup of coffee. So for these greedy corporations that don't
Yep.
do it, that don't care, why not take that $7 that week and say, I'm gonna skip that coffee and I'm gonna give away $7 just to anybody. People are like, well, what's $7? Look, you have no idea because you are not the only person giving $7, but you are adding to
That's right.
the future. And with the way that our government is going, government ain't helping these people. So it is our job as human beings, as a community, to help each other out.
To take care of each other. You're absolutely right. You brought up the point that a lot of us received cookies and candy and all kinds of stuff for the holidays. Take it down to a local food pantry. Take it to a local church.
Yeah,
The
drop it
churches
off.
are usually well connected and they can pay it forward. And
I
it,
donate. So obviously, with Luke growing at a rapid rate, we go through his stuff occasionally. Now, I will
yeah,
be honest. There are some times, especially with shoes, he's worn a pair of shoes once. They're super new. I will try to sell them to get some money, so I can buy him new shoes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And if
yeah,
I have it sitting around long enough, I'm like, forget it. I will just, donate it. But we donate his clothes, we donate toys. And I always find a church, or I did it for my church for a long time, or I will go to, there's these little setups where I know where they're going, or I've done it at hospitals before. And look, man, it's worth it. It's worth it.
right. And also I mentioned earlier about staying local. When there is something that happens, maybe there's a fire that
Yes.
happens in your neighborhood and all, and this family is just wiped out. Man, it feels so good because somebody, started a fund to help this family get back on their feet. You either donate some clothing to them, or you help donate some food, or you just donate some money to somebody that is going to help, that family benefit. That's where it starts. It starts at home. You're right. If you wait for the government to cover the costs of these tragedies, it ain't going to
Not gonna
happen
happen.
because it gets
It's
tied up
not.
in red tape. So if there's an organization that's right there on the ground, and I'll, give it to that organization so they can make it work right away.
I agree. I agree. That's a good idea.
I think we are that kind of society in our hearts. It's what we were raised to believe in, is that if you have a little extra, give a little extra. And it doesn't take an awful lot. $5 donation from 1,000 people is $5,000
Five
to help
thousand
that
dollars.
organization, and they can put it to good use.
Yeah, it's a piece of cake.
Doesn't have to be $1,000 out of your pocket.
No,
Uh, just be good to yourself. Be good to other people.
that's right. That's
You
right,
know,
guys.
that's the way we do it. So I think we made our point, didn't we?
I think so. I think so,
Yeah,
and I think we'll get out there and have a good time, and you feel good doing it, and you're doing something positive, and yeah, and just get out there and let's just start taking care of everybody. Don't worry about the government. Don't worry about the news. If we just huddle up together and take care of each other, we really don't need them.
that's right. If you want to make the difference, be the difference.
That's right.
And that's it. Catch you again next week. Go out and make it a good one.
See you
Bye.
guys.